Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast once again. I'm Josh Evanoff. As always, welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, Angel Ortega. He's the best in the world today, okay? We got a bunch of shit to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. I'm fired up. We got UFC Vegas 52, 53, Bellator, boxing, and more. As always, RogueEnergy.com. If you want 10% off your order, use code SOUNDOFF at checkout. It's code SOUNDOFF at checkout. For 10% off of all your energy needs, code SOUNDOFF, RogueEnergy.com. Buy yourself something nice. Last Saturday night from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada, Jessica Andrade goes back down to 115 pounds, taking on Amanda Lemos. Amanda Lemos, honestly, showing the rare punching power that we've seen out of an MMA fighter. She's shown amazing finishing ability, great power. I mean, hitting her prime. Jessica Andrade stops all that shit in 3 minutes and 13 seconds. Standing arm triangle choke, showing once again that not only is she one of the best in the world at one weight class, she's one of the best in the world at two, with that submission victory. Angel, my man, essentially a flawless victory. I mean, there were a lot of possibilities for this fight. I thought Amanda Lemos looked strong early. Thought she landed some nice leg kicks. Thought she was firing out some nice shots. Dude, once Jessica Andrade got a hold of her, it was GG. She showed that she's still one of the best in the world at that weight class. Give me your thoughts on her victory. And also, I saw some people, talking about that she might potentially fight the winner of Namajunas versus Esparza too. Give me your thoughts on that as well.
That's an interesting take. I wonder why they're wanting to do that instead of I guess the Whaley match was so didn't give them any hope. So I'm surprised they didn't want to go that direction and instead giving her potentially a third shot at Rose if Rose is to win. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's different, but hey, it's the UFC. They do whatever the fuck they want, right? True. I do what I want when I want, Josh.
Yeah,
you can't tell me what to do.
I mean, you're your own man. You're your own man. That's true. Look, man, I thought it was a flawless victory. I honestly don't think there's a whole lot to say about it from that attribute.
It was quick. It was very sudden. I was very surprised it ended like that. But hey, man, there's a reason she's at this level. And I thought Amanda Lemos really had something to show for us. I think there's still something there. I think it might have just been we talked about this at the time though, Josh, like off air about how it might have been a little too soon, but at the same time no one else was available, but at the same time she didn't have to fight anybody else, And this matchup was the only one that kind of made sense at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still think she has a lot to show, Amanda Lemos. She looked strong early, man. She was throwing some shots that had Jessica Andrade going like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like, Jessica Andrade is not, she does have grappling ability, but she's normally the one swinging and banging. But she was like, oh shit, alright. And she got in close.
She said, I can't fight this chick at distance, dude.
Exactly. That's just, Amanda Lemos has got some power, man. Yeah, I don't think it's the end of her. I think that she still has a lot to offer. But as far as Jessica Andrade goes, that was essentially, she essentially had, honestly, a great performance, great win. I saw a lot of people saying that she should fight the winner of, Esparza versus Namajunas too. I don't necessarily agree with that. That was putting it way too nicely. I don't agree with that shit whatsoever.
She's in a weird spot because obviously she can't fight down at all. Like, it makes a little bit of no sense for her to fight down. And fighting up, she has a lot of history up there, right?
She does. But at the same time, one win and you're getting a title shot. I don't like that over Marina Rodriguez.
Yes.
How many wins is she? Like 6 or something? Like, she's won a shit ton of fights in a row.
Maybe she's just, I told you, I think the winner of Whaley versus Joanna makes the most sense. Because if Whaley wins, she gets that rematch, against Whaley. Whaley's the former champ, and I feel like that's a pretty easy fight to get back to the title for her, or for either one, you know what I mean? Yeah. more for Andrade than Whaley, because Whaley's already beat her. But she would get that one back, you know what I mean? I feel that's a pretty easy one to get back. Or for her to want, like, really easy for her to look good and get back at in a good position for the title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, as far as the Weili thing, Weili's got to be hoping that Esparza wins in that case. But even then, who knows? They might even do like a trilogy or some shit because they would be 1-1. UFC really loves their trilogies.
Fuck
they
it,
really
dude.
love immediate rematches.
I'm down for it right now, man.
I'm not, just because the division's already like.
It's a good spot as a whole, though. I feel like
shot, you know?
I mean, she's the only one who's in a clear spot. She's a new face, you know.
Yeah, but also she's 34, man. She's about to be 35. I think Marina Rodriguez needs that title shot next, regardless of what happens. But that is just my opinion. But regardless,
I was gonna make a joke though.
Well, no, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna call you a simp.
What the fuck?
I'm memeing.
Why are you talking shit? I thought we talked in the green room. You have to stop insulting me.
On air, right?
On air. You can insult me off air all the time. Yeah, guys, Angel abuses me off air. He hits me. That's just.
Whoa, Josh, this is a cancel culture world, man. You can't be saying that shit.
No, jokes aside, back to UFC Vegas, 52, I think. Yeah, just to go on Josh, perfect win. No, nothing to really say there. We originally supposed to talk about in the co-main spot, which was Alexander Romanov, supposed to be taking on, Tanner Boser, and then Tanner Boser pulled out, and then Chase Sherman stepped in, and then on the day of the fight, they, canceled that one too. They actually be fighting this week, funnily enough.
What happened to Chase Sherman? I know it was some injury related thing.
He got sick, apparently.
It's so shitty, man. But isn't it so shitty that they, released him and then asked him to come back and fight for them on short notice?
Right? Like, oh yeah, bro, you can keep your job, but you just gotta fight this fucking monster.
Who's undefeated.
And we still might cut you anyway if you lose. Yeah. So, yeah, have fun with that.
You should just kept the guy in the first place if you're gonna do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyways, man, yeah, so that happened. So there was no, like, the co-main event, that we made a pick for, we can't really give a recap for, but, we will still talk about the co-main, which ended up being Claudio Puelles, Clay Guida. Clay Guida, this is the last fight in his contract.
Oof.
And if he does not come back, damn, it would be a shame. But I really hope he does, but at the end of the day, dude, Claudio Puelles, I think probably the most under the radar guy at 155 pounds right now. 5 wins in a row, and this is I believe his third knee bar submission, which is really impressive.
2 in a row, by the way.
Yeah, and he scores it third in the UFC, 4th overall, excuse me. And he scored this shit, dude. Clay Guida didn't have a chance. This shit was so fast. Give me your thoughts on Claudio Puelles. He's only 26, man. He just turned 26, actually. So give me thoughts on him and his future and just his win on Saturday.
I mean, for a guy to come out of the country that he does and then, like, just, there's not a lot of MMA recognition or many names that we think of that country, you know what I mean? From Peru. Who are representing, And for him to come out and do that and then representing his gym, and kind of putting himself out there on the map is really impressive, and especially with such a legendary name like Clay Guida. I'm very surprised to give him this shot, man. Like this opportunity to fight such a big name, and I'm really curious to see what direction they want to take it in because he's so young, and it's kind of like, do you really want to push him hard right now, or do you really want to wait?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's in that kind of weird spot where, like, he's very, very young, so I kind of don't want to see him get pushed too quick, but also he keeps on winning. And if you beat a guy like Clay Guida, you're going to be fighting the top 15 probably next. So I think we're
close.
Yeah, we're going to find out real soon just how real this kid is. But based off of right now, checks all the boxes. I mean, he, like I said earlier, 5-5 win streaks, last loss is in 2016. So this kid's improving rapidly, it seems. I mean, that win over Clay Guida, that shit was impressive. He didn't even have a chance to defend, man. And Clay has a really underrated jiu-jitsu game. Very, very underrated. Granted, yeah, he does have a couple losses via submission, and by a couple I mean like 11. But he's still very competent on the mat. So shout out to him for getting that win. Shout out to him. Yeah, man, as far as the rest of the card goes, give me your thoughts on some of the other fights on the main card or the undercard. Hit me with your recaps.
Oh man, let me see where I want to start to begin with. Let me go back a little bit.
Are you not prepared, Angel?
No, I was prepared. It's just
Danger.
the people that I want to start with. I'm going to start with my disappointment, Josh. The fucking fight to open up the card. I've been waiting a year for Dean Barry, Mike Jackson, Josh. It ends in a fucking DQ. I mean, we got to talk about it because it's, I mean, we talked to Mike, right? We had him on the show regarding the fight because we were talking about his potential, not his potential, but his comeback, right? After so many years. Yeah. And his opponent, Dean Barry, who had, do we even know how that whole back and forth started with them?
No, I think they just wanted to fight, and I think the UFC saw, like, oh yeah, this guy's a good talker from Ireland, he's got a fun style, and they decided, you know what, fuck it, we'll sign him, you know? That's essentially what happened. French brought him on exclusively for this fight, so. Which
is interesting. Like, they thought of Mike, and then they just found this guy, like, somehow, some way we think this is gonna work out, and it didn't work out. And it being a fucking disaster, dude. Very funny, though.
No, very funny. I mean, so if you guys didn't watch the fight, it ended up being a DQ via eye gouge, which I don't even know if it could go an eye gouge. That shit was like he fish hooked his eye. Like, that shit was egregious. And then he went ahead and got on Twitter and he's like, you know what, dude, it wasn't even that bad. He was talking the whole time. And then he could see after. I'm like, dude, I'm getting so tired of fighters complaining after they illegally do some shit. But at least in some cases, it's like, oh, one thing happened. This man, there were like 3 minutes, 52 seconds of cage time. He fouled him 3 times in roughly 3 minutes. Like, he kicked him once in the dick, and then, you know, that one, you know, Mike went in and was like, I'm good. They didn't even stop the action for it. And then he spin kicked him in the dick again. And then, Mike, you heard the commentary, which, by the way, I'm glad the Apex still has shows for this reason alone. Just like, oh goddamn, Dean! Oh god, like just
that was a good kick.
Good kick right to my balls, Dean. Like just talking shit.
Man, Daniel, good thing Daniel Cormier Jr. is in here.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
That was funny when DC said that.
Then they get back to the action. I think Dean lands like a right hand that briefly drops Mike. Mike shoots in for a takedown. He gets it. They separate, and then he starts going in for the kill again. And then Mike tries to clinch again, and instead of, you know, pushing him away or trying to frame off, just fucking not even an eye gouge, like I said, like a fish hook, because his eyes stayed in his fucking eye socket, like his finger stayed in his eye socket as Mike tried to turn away. Did you see that? That's like the worst part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was an egregious eye gouge. And then for him to talk shit afterwards, I'm like, man, gotta have some sort of like. You gotta have some sort of like, I don't know what you really say, like some sort of accountability, I guess. You know what I mean?
I like that, Josh.
I mean, look, dude,
I like that energy.
It's true. You gotta have some sort of accountability. I mean, if you're gonna go out there and if you're gonna foul somebody,
you know something, Dean Barry?
No, I mean, look, dude, Dean Barry kicked my ass. That's not the point. Like, but if you're
sure about that, Josh, I'd put you through an amazing training camp.
No, hey, UFC, I'm 0-0. You can sign me. I'll be just like Mike. You know.
You mean CM Punk?
Mike was also 0-0 as a pro. So there you go.
No, but didn't he fight Sage before that?
Did
he fight Mickey before that?
He fought Mickey in the UFC, but he was 0-0.
Oh, okay.
He got signed in 0-0, but he was 4-0 as a boxer, and I think he had some amateur fights.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I mean, you just gotta have some sort of accountability, man. I mean, look, if one foul happens, mistakes happen, but like if you have it 3 times in 3 minutes, it's like that might have been the worst UFC debut I've ever seen.
No like, joke.
Not even. I mean, look, I saw somebody talk about this on Reddit. It's like, would you rather like have that happen or be Mutino'd? It's like Chris Mutino, like he got battered. It's like it's one thing to get battered and to like show some heart, and it's like it's one thing to even lose a fight.
They're both bad in their own ways. Let's be honest.
It's one thing to lose a fight badly, but also like, dude, he did not look good. Dean Barry did not look very good. He went out there and fouled 3 times. He got disqualified. But this wasn't even the 3rd round. 3 minutes. That's the one thing I cannot get past.
Well, dude, and we were there for a long time, by the way, with all the time stopped and everything.
Yeah, but like there was 3 minutes of cage time. You fouled him 3 times. It's like, how's some accountability, my man? Like, Jesus. But shout out Mike though. Mike Jackson is on a 2-fight winning streak in the UFC. I understand the Punk fight was technically no contest because of the Mary Jane, you know. But like that is shout out Mike, man. That's all I gotta say. Shout out him. He's keeping the job. He's going on 6 years as a UFC fighter. So truly historic right there.
Better than some guys we've seen, man. Better than some guys we've seen.
Yeah, not even arguable either. So, yeah, shout out Mike. You know, friend of the show, Mike Jackson pulled, and I heard him talk. I watched his post-fight interview, scrum. He's somebody like, congrats on the win. Obviously, it's not the way you wanted to win, but he's like, nah, fuck that, man. I didn't do anything wrong. Like, he's like,
I like that energy.
He's like, some guys will go ahead and say like, oh, I didn't want to win that way. I'll take the dub any way I can get it, you know? Like, so I like that energy. But yeah, man, shout out Mike getting in the win column.
There is one issue, Josh. I am a little sad he didn't shout us out. Just say,
Mike, when we have you on the next fight, which I'm sure I'll probably reach out to him before his next fight and be like, hey, you want to come on the pod again? You know, 'cause that was fun. I remember we talked to him for 40 minutes and he's like, we were like, all right, we're going to go ahead and stop here. He's like, what? I thought we were just getting going. Like it was, he's a talker, man. But,
he's on some Joe Rogan energy, dude. He wanted to go for like 4 hours.
I know, I mean, I had fun, but like, man, you can tell in the fight, oh yeah, he's a talker, man. But anyways, so, yeah, he's getting the win column though, so shout out Mike. First time, in Soundoff history that we interview somebody and they win their fight, so I believe it's a first. Still be DQ, but you gotta take your wins with the loss.
Is this actually factual?
So we didn't interview Pretty Boy Taylor, but we had that set. Did end up happening, but we had it scheduled. He lost. We interviewed Sam Alvey. He has not won a fight since. Yeah, that was a draw, but he did not win. He's actually not won a fight since. We interviewed Byron Maxwell, and that was I don't remember if it was a loss or a draw. But it was one of them. And now we interviewed Mike, and he won. And I think we may have had somebody else, but that's all I can remember right now.
Dang, are we cursed, bro?
Not anymore.
Technically, yeah. Maybe
not anymore.
Can we bring John Jones on the podcast?
Bro, you're on demon time right now, man. God damn. Anyways, yeah, shout out Mike getting a win on the opening fight on the card. So we'll see what happens in the future with him. As far as the rest of the card goes, man, Macy Barber got back in the win column. You know, I gotta say, man, a lot of people really hate Macy Barber. I never really got it. I mean, I always thought, you know, she's generally entertaining. She has good power.
Why. Huh. But I thought you were to change it up for a second. I don't know why, John.
What do you think I should say?
And then you'd be like, I don't really understand it. But after this fight, you know,
after this fight, I really hate Macy Barber. Yeah. Like, no,
no, just kidding.
That would have been hilarious if I did.
I was so ready. I don't know why I thought you were to change it up for me.
I kind of regret not doing it now, honestly. No, no. I mean, joking aside, I mean, a lot of people hate her. I did think that she should have been on a 3-fight losing streak. I thought that Miranda Maverick loss, or I guess technically a win for her. One of the worst decisions I've ever seen, but she did win that one technically. Yeah, man. She did pick up a win here. I thought she looked good against Montella de la Rosa. I think people really need to remember, dude, she's 23 years old. Like, she's still so young.
She has so many years. She has more than 10 years in this sport, which is terrifying.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think that 2-fight skid against Roxy and Alexa Grasso will probably help her, honestly. I feel like she probably needed to go down to that level and kind of realize, oh shit, like I'm not all the way there yet, you know?
I feel with this generation of females, I feel like that happens a lot, Josh, where they need to have like that rough patch and they need to get past it and then they grow in level. I mean, fucking great, Lauren Murphy, Alexa Grasso. I mean, they had some rough patches in their career and, they grew and they managed to grow from it and build upon it. I mean, and they're still building upon it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously there is like and it's not, obviously you do have and this can apply to men too, obviously not trying to just generalize it to women, but, you know, obviously there's the rare, you know, fucking Chris Cyborg, Amanda Nunes, you know, that are just it, you know what I mean? They do have the rush punches, but it's very, very early on in their careers. And then when they get to the peak level, they're just these dominant fucking beasts.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen it.
Yeah, and I think also, specifically, I mean, you mentioned some fighters there that were like Alexa Grasso and Lauren Murphy. Alexa Grasso not really the same case, but I mean, Lauren Murphy's definitely a bit older. But like, specifically, like, I want to think about this, dude. Like, there's a current crop of specifically women's flyweight, where like, Macy Barber, Miranda Maverick, and Erin Blanchfield are all under the age of like 23.
Bro, it's the fucking lightweight and boxing situation, dude, but an MMA female.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee one of those three are going to hold a title. like within the next 5 years. I guarantee it. And if I had to bet, probably Erin Blanchfield. But I mean, dude, Amanda Maddox still improving. Same thing for Macy Barber. I mean, she was out here wrecking girls when she was like fucking 20. I mean, she was on that win streak, that crazy one where she was knocking everybody out at like 20. Like,
not if I come in, Josh, and grab the intergender title.
Oh, bro, please stop.
I'm gonna have to chop off both my balls to make weight, but I'll do it.
Stop. Anyways, so anyway. Yeah, Macy Barber got a nice win, dude. I still think she's improving, and I'm happy to see it. Dude, Charles Jourdain is quickly, I think, in my opinion, earning the title of most violent man in the UFC. Like, that land of banana, I said it was on paper, it was probably going to be fight of the night. It didn't end up being fight of the night, but still knocked him down, got the one-armed guillotine choke. That shit was dope.
It was performance of the night, potentially.
Yeah, well, actually, he didn't earn performance of the night. That's very surprising.
I don't know if I'm not saying he did, but it could have been one of the performances of the night, I said.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Did we have a performance of the night that night?
We had Andrade and Claudio Puelles.
Really? That's so boring.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Not even Tyson Pedro?
Not Pedro, who, dude, poor Ike Villanueva.
0-4 in the UFC now, right?
No. He knocked out Vinicius Moreira.
Or is he 0-4 in his last 4?
He's on a 3-fight losing streak. Prior to that, he won via knockout. Prior to that, he lost 2 in a row.
Okay.
So, yeah, I kind of feel bad for him. At the same time, it's like, I probably didn't think he'd actually get here. I mean, he was a journeyman for a long time before he got the call up, thanks to like the pandemic.
Was he at least doing big shows, or what was he doing?
He had one fight in Bellator. Funny enough, on Bellator 149, which is like my favorite card of all time, which is Hoist with Ken Shamrock and Kimball Slice versus Dada 5000. He fought on like the undercard of that. That was like a one-off. Outside of that, he like fought in like Fury FC.
At least Fury FC is relatively notable.
Yeah, he had been fighting for 12 years before he actually got the call up.
Dang, you've been putting in work. Saw his son walked out with him.
Oh my god, yeah, his 8-year-old son was in his corner.
He's fucking huge,
dude. He got
dude.
Annihilated. Not the son. The fucking...
The son could have gone in there and annihilated though.
Yeah. Yeah, so... Anyways, man, Tyson Pedro, I'm really happy that he's back in the one column. I'm glad that he's back. He's only 30 years old. He took some time off. I'm glad to see he's back. I really am. I still think he had a lot of potential, but then, like, I don't know if it was the injury that happened, like, from the, it was that Shogun fight where he was beating the shit out of Shogun, and then he fucked up his leg really badly. He had to get knee reconstruction surgery. And then I think he re-hurt it in fight camp in like 2020. He's supposed to have a fight. And then he came back for this one. So yeah, I still think he's a lot of potential. He's very good grappling. His striking's improved a lot. I'm glad to see he's back, man. I really am. Is there any other fights on this card you want to talk about before we move on?
Not specifically. I think we highlighted the main ones that I really cared about. I mean, there were some good performances. There were some finishes that we didn't mention. But as far as the ones that like I was really interested in, I really want to bring up, I think we did.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Moving on to this weekend, UFC Vegas 53, I believe. I like main event a lot, man. Rob Font, Marlon Vera, 2 guys at bantamweight where this is a division in flux. It's very much a division in flux. There's a lot of guys at the top right now. Obviously, Aljo is champion. Peter Yan still around there. Probably going to have TJ fighting for the title next, but Henry might be coming back. This is very much a division in flux right now. Rob Font was a guy who was on a super nice winning streak. He beat Ricky Simone, Pettis, Marlon Moraes, Cody Garbrandt. Before we lost to Aldo, which shame in losing to Aldo, and Aldo beat the dog shit out of him too, man. God damn, that was a tough fight to watch at times, man. But then Marlon Vera, dude, anytime we step into the top level, we've seen that he's not really been able to get past it. He lost to Aldo. He lost to Song Yadong, lost to Lineker back in the day. But at the same time, he's still only 29 years old, and he seems to be improving fight to fight. Last fight, he got his biggest win of his career, knocked out Frankie Edgar at UFC 268. Now his position, first main event for Marlon Tito Vera. Give me your fights on this one. Give me your thoughts on this fight, my man. Give me your prediction.
This is a tough fight, man. I think, obviously the Jose Aldo fight at its time was probably his hardest opponent ever, like the highest, probably the best guy he has ever faced in his career, right? I don't think anybody even comes close to it. No disrespect to the other guys he fought. Obviously Frankie great in his own right, but I think Aldo's there's a decent gap between them though, Josh, if we really want to be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Frankie Edgar in his own right, legend of sport, Hall of Famer, like name it, champ. But Aldo is in that upper echelon that it's a special club. You know what I mean? Frankie's right outside of it, but he's not with them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you're just agreeing with me just for the sake of agreeing with me, but
no, I mean, I think the bigger difference is that they're in different places historically. I will agree with that. How about that?
Yeah. And obviously right now they're both in very different spots in their career.
Yeah, I mean Edgar is pretty washed.
Yeah, it's pretty rough right now.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, he did beat him though, and Edgar was good. Wasn't Frankie doing good early in that fight
Frankie was winning up until that he got knocked out with like a minute left in the third.
Yeah, that's right.
He was using his wrestling and stuff,
The Rob Font matchup though right now against Cheetah though, dude. I think this is a tough ass fight for Cheetah, but I think a lot of questions will be answered here for Cheetah.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is actually probably one of the best people who can fight right now at this moment in time in this weight class. The only thing that sucks though is that Rob's coming off that Aldo loss. Mm-hmm. That was pretty bad if I remember right. Like it wasn't bad. I can't remember. It was closer than I think. I can't remember off the top. I might be confusing it with a different fighter actually. Regardless though, Cheeto's here. I don't think it's a make or break, but I think it is time to be like, yo, like I am at these guys' level. I will not fall short to high level talent. I need to show my skill set. I need to show that I need to show my complete discipline here. And I think the guy right now, this time, the perfect guy is Rob Font. For some reason, I think this is the best matchup they could have got him. Guy who had a decent little win streak before the Aldo loss. And, if Cheeto wins this, man, he's right up there in the big dogs' names, man. I mean, he has to be thrown out there. He's going to get those opportunities. He's that kind of guy, who will take those chances too if he ends up winning this fight. The thing is, though, can he do it against Rob Font? My biggest thing with Rob Font, though, is I feel like Rob Font, to me, I am never extremely impressed. I'm going to be completely honest with you, Josh. I'm never extremely impressed, and it's no disrespect, right? But he beat Cody. He battered Cody. But the way Cody's been looking, it's kind of rough,
Probably should have got a finish, if we're being completely honest.
Marlon Moraes, I mean, Josh, I had said there had been something wrong there for the last 3 fights before that. Ricky Simone, obviously, great fucking W. Sergio Pettis, I mean, we've seen it now, champ and Bellator. And it's not to discount him, but from Rob Font, I'm missing a little something, Josh. I'm missing a little something. He's 34 years old. And I need a little bit more. I don't know what it is. It's kind of crazy how there's a bit of parallel between him and Cheeto right now, because I feel like Raw is in a better position than Cheeto, but at the same time there's some gaps that I need to see. But Cheeto needs to beat Font for me to be like, okay. Mm-hmm. I know, because we talked about this a few weeks back, Josh. We're like, I don't think I know really what Cheeto's level is.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will tell us.
I really do think so as well. Because, he's had some losses. The Aldo one was kind of weird. And he's lost when he's fought at the top level. But I feel like he's also improving. That's the weird thing. Because he is still only 29. Like, he's been in this game for a long time, so we kind of forget. But he's still improving. I feel like this is going to be the fight of main event, a 5-rounder, that we're actually going to go ahead and see his full potential. So I'm in agreement there.
Final form, Josh.
I mean, this is it. I mean, you're fighting a top 5 guy, and you're fighting a guy that is coming off a loss, and you're fighting 5 rounds for the first time. This is going to tell us, I think, if there's any mystery left about Marlon Vera, I feel like it's going to be gone after this weekend. That's where I'm at.
You know something, Josh? That's exactly why I'm picking him, Josh, because I think he's going to come out here and make the biggest statement of his career.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Do you think he gets it done via knockout or decision?
Fuck, man. That's, Rob Font's a tough fucking guy to get out of there, dude. You know what I mean? Look, if he does it, it'll be a submission. I don't think it'll be a finish on the feet. But Cheeto's a sneaky fighter, dude. On the feet, on the ground. Elbows. I mean, he has a full package, man. He will surprise you. So, I mean, if it is one, I think if it is on the feet, it'll be very erratic, very sudden. I don't think it's going to be like a a big 1-2, you know, or a flying overhand, right? I think it's gonna be like some fucking spinning kick or, you know, spinning elbow. You know, I think it's gonna be some spinning shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me some acrobatic stuff. I don't think it's gonna be your traditional, you know, boxing finish, you know. And then I feel like the submission's always gonna be there for Cheeto potentially.
Yeah, that's possible. Man, this is a really tough fight to pick, man. Just because we don't know. I feel like Cheeto's a guy that comes on more as the fight goes on, which is what makes this hard to pick. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if this is a 3-rounder, I'd actually probably pick Rob Font. I probably would.
I think you make a great point there. I actually think I completely agree with you.
Yeah, because it's a 5-rounder. Rob's coming off a really bad loss where he got close to being finished. I think he got knocked out 3 times in that one. He got close to being finished multiple times. I'm going to take Marlon Vera, man. I'm going to take Cheeto to get the dub here. I'm going to take him via decision, but I think he comes on more as the fight goes on, and I think this is his time, man. I feel like he's had a couple close fights. He had a close fight with Song Yadong. He had a close fight with Aldo. Actually, all the fight wasn't very close, but you know what I'm saying. I'm going to take I think Marlon Vera is going to get the big winner. I think it's going to be the biggest win of his career. He's going to jump into the top 5 and see what happens from there. I'm going to take him to get it done this weekend.
King shit.
Yeah, so co-main event, and at this point, we're at a really rough stretch for co-main events. Like, this happens with most fight nights, but, you know, last week the co-main event that we picked was canceled. The week before that, the co-main event got switched. So, we're going to try and give you this one.
Josh, this might be co-main event of the year, Josh.
As of right now, Andrei Arlovski, on a 3-fight winning streak, is taking on Jake Collier in the co-main event, who last defeated Chase Sherman. Arlovski coming in here on relatively short notice. I believe he stepped up. He was supposed to be Justin Taffa. He stepped in about 2 weeks ago. So, Arlovski's out here collecting these checks, okay? And, look, man, he's got a really good shot here. If he wins this one, he might get into the top 15. Do you think he gets it done, Angel? I mean, his only loss in his last 6 fights is to Tom Aspinall.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm picking Arlovski 100%, man, even on short notice. Look, as much as I like Jay Collier, man. I like his little bit he has going on right now, his little arc. But, he ran into the wrong guy. He ran into the wrong NPC. This is it. Andrei Arlovski is not the guy he wanted to run into. And, fuck, man, credit to him for taking the fight, because I'm sure they offered him options, right? Like, they didn't just say, hey, you're gonna fight Arlovski, you don't have a choice, right? Like, I'm sure they're like, hey, we have Arlovski, you either take it or you don't. You know? I'm sure that was more or less what it was. He was like, you know something? Fuck it, I want to get paid.
Yeah, and it's definitely, I mean, on paper, there's a fight where the only thing that kind of messed me up is a short notice, but even with the short notice, I'm still going to take Arlovski. I like Jay Collier a lot, man. I like his story. I mean, because he's a guy that, like, he just, I'm assuming he, like, got an injury or something. And he came back as a heavyweight, and a lot of people made fun of him, but, like, he's arguably having more success as a heavyweight than he did at middleweight. Like,
king shit.
So, I mean, shout out to him.
Hey, man, the dad bod's in.
It is, and he's won, you know, since coming back, he's 2-2, but his 2 losses was a split decision to Carlos Felipe, which I thought he won, and a loss to Tom Aspinall, who's a beast. So, yeah, man, I like Jay Collier a lot. I'm glad that he got re-signed. I am going to go ahead and take on Andrei Arlovski here. I mean, dude, to be doing what he's doing at his age, yes, I'm very well aware that he's not fighting the top level of competition. But, like, dude, Carlos Felipe, that was a good win. He beat Tanner Bozer. It's another nice win. He beat Rothwell not too long ago. I'm going to take him to get this one. I think he should be in the top 15 after this one, honestly. Which is the crazy thing about it, because he's 43 years of age. 43 years old. Yeah, I'm going to take him, though. I'm going to take him. As far as the rest of the card goes, my man, I think this is a pretty interesting card. There's a lot of fights here. Like, on paper, there's not a whole lot of ranked guys on this one, but there's some fights that should be absolute bangers. I'm curious to see, what are your most look forward to fights on this card?
I agree with you, man. I think this is actually like kind of a sleeper card, you know? And I'm looking at it as a whole right now. I'm looking at the full picture. I think it's a sleeper card. I think there's a lot of guys who could potentially come out here and bang and do some crazy shit. You know, I mean, we gotta go one down, Josh. Andre Fili, Joe Anderson, Berto, Brito. It's Brit, so it's Brito. I'm assuming something like that. Regardless, though, Andre Fili. I mean, you know what you get with Andre Fili, right? We know the package. Joey Anderson coming off the Contender Series, man. He beat a guy that I actually thought was going to win and make it into UFC, who fought in the Lux League, who I've been keeping my eye on for a long time. Comes out here and fucks this kid up, man. Gets signed, loses to Bill Algeo, but there's some stuff I like there. He really surprised me, and I think this is a fun matchup for him. He's 27, doesn't look it, but he is. At least that's what the documents say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that fight should be a banger. Let's be honest with you. Andre Fili's never been in a boring fight, and he's only 31, which kind of fucks me up, honestly, because he's been around in the game for so long. Like, he got signed all the way back in 2013. He's a former. He was fighting where Tachi Palace was around. So, yeah, shout out Tachi Palace. Yeah, man, and he seems to be improving every single fight. I mean, he gave Bryce Mitchell a surprisingly good fight, actually. Like, Bryce Mitchell has wrecked everybody except for Andre Fili. Fili gave him a good fight, man. His fighting against Daniel Pineda, he looks the best of his career until that eye poke, which really, really sucked.
That was fucking devastating, because that was looking to be a good fight.
Yeah, and he was wrecking him, dude. And he's had some good fights. He beat Charles Jourdain, which is a banger of a fight. That Sadiq Youssef fight was really, really good. I thought he arguably won that one too. So he's he's a very entertaining guy. Glad to see him back. Jared Gordon is going to be back. Still a very interesting guy. He's 33. But at the same time, he's on a 3-fight winning streak. 4 of his last 5, his only losses to the champ, Charles Oliveira, back in 2019. Shout out, champ. He's taking on Grant Dawson. 17-1-1. Very interesting guy. You never really think of him as like one of those guys of being like a top prospect. But he's still only 28 years old, and he's just kind of under the radar, man. Winning fights, and granted, he is coming off a draw, but still, just putting in that work, man. So that should be a banger of a fight right there. 2 guys on nice winning streaks. Darren Elkins is back to the damage. The damage, taking on Tristan Connolly.
Shout out.
Featherweight. Shout out. Because let's just go ahead and remember here, guys. Tristan Connolly was that guy that got signed on like 2 weeks' notice to fight Michel Pereira. And just think about where they're at now. I mean, Michel Pereira is a beast, dude. And the only guy to beat him, and he's now fighting a featherweight, is Tristan Connolly. So, yeah, he's coming out with a loss to Pat Sabatini, but Pat Sabatini's pretty damn good in his own right. This fight's going to be a banger, dude. 2 guys who are just fun fighters, and it should be a lot of fun, dude. Darren Elkins still doing the damn thing at 37 years old. He's coming off the loss to Cub Swanson. Prior to that, he's on a nice win streak. Christoph Jocko taking on Gerald Mearshart at middleweight. We'll see if Gerald Mearshart can continue his win streak. As far as the undercard goes, generally, I mean, pretty light. Like, as far as the actual prelims, Francisco Figueiredo, brother of Davison, is going to be back. Gina Mazzani's taking on Shanna Young. But this fight that we don't know where it's going to be placed yet is Chase Sherman versus Alexander Romanov, which we talked about briefly for last card, is going to be on this one. So
has to be on the main. I feel like they're going to push out Conley Elkins, maybe.
Maybe. I'm honestly a little bit disappointed that they actually decided to go ahead and I'm a little bit disappointed they decided to actually rebook this one. So,
what do you think they could have done it on? Do you think they could have moved it?
Well, I just think that they should have just said fuck this matchup and because I think Romanov deserves somebody much better.
Was it Romanov ranked?
Sherman.
Huh? Is Romanov 15?
I don't think he's ranked yet.
Oh, I'm on it right now.
Which is insane to me.
He's not. No.
Yep.
I mean, he should probably be fighting like Sakai, Ivanov, Paul Harris, one of those guys. How is Shamil still 12? Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Or Shamil. There you go.
Yeah. Interesting. So, yeah, I mean, I just wish they would have given him an actual better opponent. And that's no offense to Chase Sherman. I like Chase a lot, but the Vanilla Gorilla is on a 3-fight losing streak. So, yeah, don't know about it. But anyways, yeah, they're going to go and fight. We'll see if Chase can spring one of the biggest upsets of all time. So anyways,
just you wait, Josh.
Just you wait till Chase Sherman sees me next time. Yeah, so moving on to Bellator. So one of these cards was much better than the other on paper and ended up being that way in reality. But we'll start off Bellator 278. Last Friday night from the Neil S. Blaisdell Arena in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Ohana, motherfuckers.
Yes, Angel. In the main event, in my opinion, probably the worst stoppage of a title fight in a long time. Liz Carmouche taking on the champion Juliana Velasquez. Juliana was up 3-0, and then with about 13 seconds left in the fourth round, Carmouche gets in the crucifix position, lands like probably 4 elbows, and the referee, Mike Beltran, calls it into the contest. Angel, did you see the stoppage?
I saw a clip of it on Twitter. I didn't see the whole stoppage. I just saw when the elbows were landing from the position.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get the full clip of what continued after that or how long it lasted. But I did see like a bunch of YouTube videos like terrible end to Bellator 278. What the fuck? I kid you not, that was the title I saw.
It did look. Here's the way that I'd explain it. It looked like an amateur stoppage. Like, you know, in amateur MMA, like a lot of them they don't let the fights go on too long because like it's Amy, you know, like no point. Like it was so bad. Like it was really really bad.
Avengers level threat, Josh.
Avengers level threat of a bad stoppage for sure. I mean, the elbows she landed too weren't even with the elbow. They were like kind of like forearm shots. Like she wasn't even landing them clean. She landed about 5 of them, and the referee called it. And it was near the end of the round, and she was down 3-0. Like it was so bad. It was really really bad, man. They got to run it back. I mean, they got to run it back. They really
will. I mean, she was undefeated, and yeah, they will. They should, right?
You know, Liz Carmouche said she didn't want to.
Huh.
So, you know, show you how she feels about that. Anyways, they gotta run it back. That was horrific. And also, there's nobody really left to fight for the title right now anyway, so they might as well do it. Unless I'm missing somebody. Like Alima Lay, it seemed like this was kind of layup, which we'll talk about her in a minute.
Yeah, that was a...
well, there's a reason why that happened. I'm not sure if you've seen the updates about her, but...
I haven't.
Okay, well, perfect then. It explains a lot. But anyways, yeah, at 125, let me pull up the rankings real quickly just so I can actually, full disclosure. Yeah, there's nobody left. I mean, Carmouche is champion. Denise Keelholz just fought for the title and lost. Kind of Watanabe already lost to Carmouche. Yeah, so that's the only fight they can realistically do. So, yeah, perfect. Yeah, they got to remount. They got to rerun that one. That was horrific. Anyways, moving on down to the co-main event, Ricard Barzola defeating Nikita Milov. He kind of just showed that veteran stab. He just showed him this levels of this shit. Barzola moving on into the Grand Prix. Give me your thoughts on him. His victory.
That's dope. That's what we want to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. But you know what? As happy as I was that Barzola got the win, did you see Danny Sabatello defeating Jornal Lugo?
Dude, he cut an amazing promo, didn't he?
Dude, the Italian gangster. Like, I love this guy. I honestly didn't know much about him before this. I know I've seen him fight before, but I've never seen an interview.
I knew of him, and I knew he was high level.
Yeah, he just had the greatest fucking accent of all time. And, you know, he was talking on his next fight. Here's the exact quote. He's cut a hell of a promo. If I can do that to a guy that's a stud like Jornal Lugo, 8-0, undefeated, really fucking talented, and skillful fighter, then I can beat anybody. And now, Leandro Higo is fucking next. If you think I dominate Lugo, which means see what I do to Higo. Leandro, you're a fucking great matchup for me because you suck and I'm good. What a guy. What a fucking stud.
Uncle Chael would be proud.
What a fucking stud Danny Sabatello is. Love this man. Yeah, that was dope, dude. I loved that. I loved everything about that. And they're gonna fight, let me see if there's a date for that. There might be one. Yeah, June 24th, they're gonna fight.
So quick.
So that's dope. Yeah, man, excited for that one. And the winner of that, Leandro Higo, Danny Sabatello, they're gonna fight Rufon Stotts, the new champ, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, Bellator 78, I don't think there's anything left to talk about this one. Do you?
Nothing specifically. We highlighted like the main parts of it. My boy Christian Edwards lost to Grant Neal, bro.
Yep.
Devastated.
Yeah, damn shame. But
He's young. He'll be back.
he'll be back. But yeah, man, I think the bigger card was absolutely Bellator 279. This card,
Bro, they
this
had
card
post
ruled.
limbs.
The post limbs?
They had post limbs. No, I'm saying that they had post limbs. I saw the highlights.
Oh yeah, no, I was just asking if you watched any of them. I watched one of them. My girl Sumiko Inabata picked up a nice win. The Lady Samurai
I'm
got
aware
a nice
of her.
win. Yeah. But anyways, moving on, we'll start off with the main event. A much better fight than I expected. A much, much better fight. The first time around, Arlie Blenko and Chris Cyborg fought, which was October 2020. Cyborg just dominated her, rear naked choke, 2 minutes in the second round, not even close. After dominating the first. This time, it was a Cyborg-controlled fight, but Arlie Blenko just bit down her mouthpiece and said, "Fuck it, I'm going out of my shield." And she ended up losing 49-45 on the card, but still, there was a close round or two in there. She showed a lot of heart. And, hell of a fight, man. Give me your thoughts on this win. And give me your thoughts on Chris Cyborg's future, because I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Chris Cyborg is now a free agent, Angel.
I don't think they're going to get rid of Cyborg. I mean, there's no way Cyborg goes to PFL, right?
I don't know. That's apparently what PFL wants.
Can they even drop the bag for Cyborg? Because they're going to have to drop the bag for Cyborg. And also, can Cyborg make weight that many times?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I guess she'd be going up in weight, though, wouldn't she? Wouldn't she have to go up in weight if she wanted to fight Kayla?
Yeah, I mean, it would be they have the weight class of 155 for some reason, but yeah.
So, I mean, I guess that wouldn't be an issue then for Cyborg.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they'll do it. I mean, Josh, as far as, we'll run it back to the fight a bit. I mean, Blenko, really tough. She got dropped in that first round, and that was a tough fucking round. I'm surprised she made it out of that first round.
Yeah.
I think that was the real, the most impressive thing of that fight was her making it out of that first round and being tough and sticking through it and going the distance. Obviously, it was a Cyborg fight all around. I think all the scorecards were the same, right?
49-45 on all the cards. And the reason was not 50-45 was just because Cyborg got deducted a point in the first.
They point knee on the ground, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so makes sense.
But yeah, man, just a solid win for her. She's a free agent. We'll see what happens now. I'd like to see her in PFL over Bellator, but just because I think there's better fights there. I mean,
what do you mean, Josh? My next chapter, the UFC.
Oh my God, I wish, dude. I'd love to see her go back to the UFC. I really would. But I don't think it'll happen. I just think that bridge is too burned. But,
dude, that shit didn't just burn, dude. That thing is not even existent.
Yeah, you're probably right. But yeah, man. So moving on, co-main event. Rufon Stotts Warren Archuleta. Let's be honest, this was the people's main event, for being completely real.
There's levels to this shit. No,
there is levels of this shit. Rufon Stotts showed that he might be the greatest fighter on the planet at bantamweight right now. I don't care if that's how people feel about that. Head kick knockout of Warren Archuleta. Wasn't even close. Give me your thoughts on him. Give me your thoughts on his future now as the Bellator interim bantamweight champion.
I mean, it suits him, man. It really does. This is a reality we knew could happen, Josh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were already in our minds at the start of this tournament very much knowing that this is something that could happen and is happening right in front of us, where Stotts ends up, without even us knowing yet, winning this tournament, and he's doing it in devastating fashion already. He was doing it before the tournament started, beating the big names, and now he's doing it in the tournament, putting out the big names.
Mm-hmm.
The finish itself was fucking disgusting, Josh. I mean,
it was filthy.
The way it slid over the head, and you're like, wait. You're like, it looked like the fucking death touch, Josh.
Yeah,
honestly.
He just clipped him with it. It was one of those head kicks. He didn't even land it flush. He just clipped him with it. But damn, it was good.
Beautiful.
Perfect. Yeah, man. Flawless victory for him, and he's gonna be fighting, like I said, the winner of the Honorable Hero Danny Savatello, that's gonna be a hell of a fight, man. That's gonna be a great, great fight. Whoever wins, granted, I'll just be honest, I kinda want to see Danny Savatello Kind of want to see him do it. I want to see his run continue, but we'll have to see in June.
Could you imagine the press conference between Stotts and Sabatella?
Dude, all time. It would be incredible. That's almost one of the main reasons I want it. Not gonna lie. Yeah, man, that'd be honestly really, really fun. But anyways, moving on down the card, we're just gonna go ahead and this is a fight that we went ahead and mentioned briefly. Ilima McFarlane loses Justin Kish. This one was not even close.
This was an upset, man.
It was a huge upset. Justin Kish wasn't even just people talk about how she flunked out of the UFC. Her first fight was against Deanna Bennett in Bellator just 2 months ago, and she lost that one clean too. Like that fight wasn't even very close either. So
we'll work on the ground, bro.
Yeah. So Justin Kish comes in, and you know, she was a massive.
Someone made some good money.
Yeah, she was a massive underdog. And look, man, yeah, man. So apparently in the first round, Ilima McFarlane, I believe she's in the hospital for this right now. She fucked up her neck somehow. I don't have any specifics on this.
Fuck.
But
like some algebra shit? Like not even being funny?
It might be worse than that. Apparently, a fight should have been called. Fight probably should have been called because apparently, she went back to her corner. I didn't hear this, but apparently she went back to her corner after the first. She said she couldn't feel her left arm.
Holy fuck, that's bad.
And she fought the next 2 rounds.
Savage, but not good.
If you're making fun of Ilima, bro, like that girl's got so much heart, bro. Like, she should not have been fighting though. Like, I'll say that. Like, apparently she should not have been fighting. We don't know exactly what the issue is yet. But yeah, man, just devastating. Yeah, so if you're one of the people that were talking shit, like, all I'm saying is you gotta be able to willingly admit, like, oh yeah, I might have been wrong. There's a reason why she lost, bro. Like, that first round was close, and then she got murked after that. And if it's true that she couldn't, like, you know, she had a really fucked up neck, that makes a lot more sense.
That's scary, man.
Yeah. Still seeing, like, where I still don't know exactly what's wrong, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Josh, you keep us updated at bjpen.com, right?
Oh, for sure, dude. Of course, I keep everybody updated at bjpen.com. Greatest MMA source on the planet.
How do you spell that?
It's bjpenn.com at bjpen on Twitter. You can go ahead and go to the website. Also, like us on Facebook at bjpen. We have a great staff of writers. Myself putting in that work. Obviously, we have a great team. Overall, we got exclusive interviews. We have exclusive content as always. But also just in general, just keeping our finger on the pulse of the MMA community. bjpen.com. But anyways, so moving on down the card. This is a pretty big upset. Patchy Mix defeating Kyoji Horiguchi. Granted, I will say this was a bit of a contentious fight. Some people thought that Horiguchi should have won. Angel, give me your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, no, this one didn't come out without controversy, man. I kept an eye on it, and it seemed that it was a heavy control fight out of Mix, but it was Patchy not doing a lot either, as far as trying to get the fight done either, from what I heard. I tried to watch a few rounds, try to get it in, but I wasn't able to I didn't have the full fight to watch at the time, so I wasn't able to properly score it myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct. But as far as it was pretty much a heavy control fight. That's essentially what it was. So, yeah, man. It is what it is. I mean, I was pretty surprised, honestly, that this one went the way that it did. But dude, I feel like Patrick Mix is kind of a low key guy in this whole thing. I think he lost to Juan Archuleta, and he had that bad weight miss with the James Gallagher fight. I think people kind of forget how good he was. And, dude, Koji Horiguchi, who's one of the favorites. I think most people might even argue that he was a favorite.
He was my guy to win.
Thanks to how good his last fight was. And dude, he gets him out of there in the first round. I don't think anybody expected that. I know I didn't. So, yeah, shout out Patchy Mix. As far as the rest of the card goes, what are some of the other fights you're looking to talk about?
Oh, man, I had to, I always have to highlight my guy. Every time I see him. Lance Gibson Jr., son of Lance Gibson Sr., getting another victory, man, improves his 6-0. He opened up the card. Nice to see him, continue to grow, and they're building him up. I like that, man. They're doing a good job with him.
Mm-hmm. For sure. They're doing it the right way. Yeah, man, also, I can't believe I forgot to bring up this fight, dude. Yancy Medeiros, Emmanuel Sanchez. This fight was a fucking war. I can't believe I forgot to bring this one up. Yeah, apparently this is actually like a tryout fight for Yancy. He had like a 1-fight deal. You go out there and put on that fight, dude. You got a place in Bellator, dude. Let me put you got a place in that fucking promotion. Shame for Emmanuel Sanchez, but damn, that was a good fight, dude. That was a hell of a fight. Very, very excited for that one. So, see what he does in the future. Dude, your boy Goichi Yamaguchi, one of the most low-key guys in Bellator, I feel like. I feel like he never gets the praise that he deserves. And dude, your boy goes out there, round 1 submission, and his welterweight debut, 2 fights in a row. Give me your thoughts on him getting back into the win column.
Dude, what a stud of offense, dude. I just want to see it keep going, man. He's in a tough division with a lot of tough dudes, a lot of talent, but there's a lot of potential there.
Mm-hmm. For sure, a lot of potential, and I'd like to see what he can do now. Honestly, welterweight, I think welterweight's probably their best division, at least in my opinion. But we'll have to see what happens in the future with him.
You think it's better than 135?
Oh, fuck, it's close, dude. It's really. I'm super high on 170 though. Like.
And oh man, I'd argue for 135.
205 is also good too, though. Bellator has 3 really good divisions.
You're not wrong. I still think 135 is, in my opinion, the far.
I won't argue with you. You're probably right. But yeah,
with established talent and young talent.
Yeah, it can go either way. At least in my opinion. But yeah.
No, Josh,
yeah, man.
You're wrong.
Okay. It's a matter of opinion, but all right, dude. Damn.
Fuck your opinion.
Whoa, hey, chill.
This isn't a democracy.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Anyway, solid win for him though. Yeah, Kai Kamaka lost in his Bellator debut? No, the second fight in Bellator.
I feel like that was his second.
Yeah. Janae Harding lost, which was surprising, to Diana Silva. So, weird 145-pound division they got going there. Yeah, man. And then Neil had the fight. My girl Simcoe Inabata picked up a win, which I mentioned earlier, in the post-limbs, which both were having post-limbs is still very, very strange to me. Like, what is this, 2007, dude? Like, what are we doing here?
Right.
But, I mean, she did pick up a solid win, though. I was a little bit, they should have put her, like, probably earlier in the card, because I thought she actually has a lot of potential at that weight class of 125. Because 125 is a pretty barren, like we've talked about it earlier, like, there's nobody really to fight for the title now. That's why they're probably going to run a rematch. But Sumiko, solid win streak, 4-0. So we'll see what happens to her in the future. And I believe all of her wins are via knockout, too. Actually, one via submission. But, yeah, all finishes. So should be a pretty nice win. So we'll see what happens in the future with her. Yeah, man, very, very nice Bellator card. Like, sometimes Bellator has, like, weak cards. Sometimes they have, like, a lot of fluke shit. But, dude, hell of a card, man. Hell of a card. Next time, they got a card is in Bellator France. In Paris, which is a banger of a card, man.
Main card,
banger, especially the main and co-main.
Let's be honest, it's the main card that's the bigger, Josh.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but
it's a pretty fat.
Cavalio's on the prelims.
Yeah, but it's a pretty fat drop off after the main card. Hey, man, but like you said, they always do it. Bellator always does this, which you got to respect to give. They highlight the guys locally.
Yeah, but yeah, regardless, I am excited for that card. But yeah, man, as far as MMA goes, it's essentially all that we have. However, we do have a little bit of boxing to talk about. More specifically, Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte in front of 94,000 roaring fans in Wembley Stadium. Tyson Fury goes out there and dominates. This one was not even close. I can't remember a honestly significant shot that Dillian Whyte landed, but he took he took a fair bit of them though. He essentially got peppered with a jab for the first couple rounds, and then in round 6, Tyson Fury lands a fucking massive right uppercut, puts him down, sits him down, and yeah, that's the end of the fight. That's it, and can't beat the count, and that was that. Tyson Fury picks up the win. Says he's going to retire from the sport of boxing. Now that's interesting because he said he's retiring from boxing, but he's not retiring from exhibitions. So what that means is he called Big Fran in there, Francis Ngannou was ringside. He called him in there and said he's going to fight him next. So give me your thoughts on that. Give me your thoughts on his win as well over Dillian Whyte.
I think that shit happened.
You want to see it?
I fucking want to see it.
Would you rather, even as an exhibition, it won't be a real fight. You still want to see it?
Someone can still knock out an exhibition.
I suppose so, but yeah, I mean, let me ask you this. Do you think it's more likely that he fights Ngannou next or the winner of Usyk versus AJ?
I feel like he should fight that fight and retire, regardless of the results.
No, I know. I agree that he should, but I'm saying, like, which do you think is more likely?
Definitely the second option.
Okay. Yeah, I think it comes with a caveat, honestly. I think he could if that winner is AJ. I think if AJ wins, he'll fight him. If it's Usyk, there's no real point. Not to say that, like, for legacy-wise, there's a point, but, like, I just don't think he will, just because it's not exactly a huge selling fight. Like, he said afterwards, he's like, yeah, I took the Dillian fight because I could fight in front of the UK for the last time. I'm going to get a whole bunch of money. I mean, they went ahead and he said he revealed, like, he told his wife after the final Wilder fight that he's going to go ahead and retire, and then he decided to do one more. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens. I honestly do. A lot of people are saying they don't believe him. I actually do believe him. I actually believe him that he might retire, unless it's AJ. I think that one would be like they have to do it, right? Like they can't. That wouldn't make too much.
It'd be a perfect fucking ending to the career, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would make too much sense to not do. So for that reason alone, I could see it happening. But yeah, man, overall, solid. I think the only thing left to really talk about, normally boxing undercards, there's nothing to talk about. Tommy Fury did pick up a win. He dominated the 10-1 Polish fighter Daniel Baldacci. Called out Jake Paul afterwards. I'll just go ahead and put the Angel gun to your head right now. Jake Paul is returning in August. Do you think he fights Tommy Fury?
I don't know who's going to fight. We have Bisping, we have Anderson Silva, we have Tommy Fury.
Just yes or no, if you have to guess.
I think at one point in their lifetime they will fight.
That is a cop-out answer, but I'll let you go.
That's a great answer.
I said next.
Oh, you did say next. Fuck. Do I think he fights him next? No, I don't think that's likely because Tommy just fought. And I think they probably already have someone in the works, which makes a lot of sense. Like thinking at it, like realistically, like how things are going, 100% there's someone else who they already have settled on.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can see it happening either way. It's going to be either him or Anderson, I think. Unless some, like, other person comes in, like,
I mean,
last
shit, Anderson's going to fight on a fucking helipad, so.
He's going to be fighting Bruno Machado, who's like 15-9 in MMA, so he's about to get dog walked, sadly. But yeah, man, overall, nice weekend of fights. Whole lot of stuff. Yeah, man, as far as this boxing goes, as far as MMA goes, or anything else we talk about before we close out?
Nothing specifically, man. I think we highlighted all the main things. Next week we come back with a fucking heater. For sure. I mean, we have UFC 275, I believe, and we also have, 274, excuse me. And then also Canelo. So we're going to have a whole bunch of shit to talk about. But yeah, as far as this show goes, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm at Josh Evanoff on Twitter. He's at Angel Ortega on Sport01 at Courtside Sound for all things related to the show. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace and butt grease. Mouse click.